So I had a strut mounting bolt snap on me. And I'm in the process of putting a new one in right here. Now it took me a while to get it up in here because of the clearance. And actually it's not even gonna fall out of the hole here. And so you can see I got it up there now. So I'll hold it up there with something and then I'll screw it from the top, but I'm going to show you what I did here. Now this one broke in an okay location. I could replace it without taking the strut out of the car. So I'm going to pause here for a moment. Yeah, so I'd gotten done replacing the strut in the car, and I was torquing these bolts down, and it said 59 foot-pounds on the internet, and this one snapped. So that's the new one sticking in just a little bit there. I'll push it through. I had threaded that on there a little bit just to see. If I need to, I'll use a tap to push it up in the hole so it doesn't spin on me. So that's how I got the old one out when it snapped. I put a punch on there, not a tap, but a punch, sorry, and I hit it with a hammer until it came out. People said they were pressed in there. Now, while they are pressed, it's, obviously not a very thick metal. And to protect the windshield here, because the glass comes right up to the edge here, I put this pipe foam on it. So I'll show you what I did. So I did drive around, for a few days with the only two of the strut mounting bolts. From a quick internet search, people seem to think it was okay for a while. And I was going to return this, but it was already in the car. And the place I bought it from didn't have a replacement, so they'd only done a warranty return. So I took my old strut, and I practiced on this one here, hammering it out. Because obviously there's not enough clearance there to remove this one. So if this is the one that broke in your car, you're going to have a little more difficulty with this one. Maybe you could put the bolt in up this way and have the nut on the bottom, or you might end up having to, I guess that'd probably be the only way with one like that to replace. Now you can tell I did bend the metal here a little bit. So I got that one loose, so then I turned it to another one. And so this was the last one I did. There was the second, so I hammered them good, but this one I wanted to keep good. So I set it up on my vise here, upside down, of course, and with the, I kept the nut here on there to protect the threads. So this sat here, and I put this on top of it, and I hit that with my hammer, hit the wrench here with my hammer, so I wasn't whacking on the metal here. So how that would have looked is, obviously there's clearance there with the strut, so it's got to be right on the edge. Otherwise the middle of the strut's going to be sitting on there. So just the nuts on there. And I leaned it up against something, and then I put that wrench on top of the bolt. And I kept whacking, so that force against the nut pushed the bolt up into the hole there. So yeah, that, like I was saying, that one would be difficult, but these other ones here, there's some nice amount of clearance there. So I did that on the old one just to make sure. And I hadn't replaced my other one yet. And I wanted to make sure that process would work on the new strut, because I didn't want to damage this new one that I had installed, not be able to get the bolt out, the broken bolt out, and then try to return it and have them refuse. So I took the other new one I have, which is in the garage here, and removed one of them bolts just to make sure. So then I went to the car, and that's where it snapped off, and here's the rest of the bolts. So just part of that was sticking through the hole, and I just put a punch on it, whacked away, and it fell through the hole. So I should be able to finish this up here pretty easy. But yeah, here's a decent way of replacing a strut mounting bolt that snapped on you without having to take the strut out of the car. Again, if it's a tight clearance one like that, you might have to flip the bolt around. You actually might not even be able to get it out on the car. So you might take this out of the car because, you know, you go through that hole there into the vehicle, you know, and that takes up some of that there. So if you cut it here, halfway between where it comes out and up here, you know, I mean, you might not just get it out here. It's just too tight. But yeah, if you take it out of the vehicle, get it out, you could put the bolt through the top and the nut down here. I mean, that's going to take a little more finagling. Probably want to use thread locker on it. This stuff, you know, it's got these threads here so that it's basically locked into that hole so that when you tighten it down, there's no head on here that you have to hold on to with a wrench of any sort. That's what those there do, hold it in the hole. So, I mean, it's pressed into the sense that those are holding it in the hole, but it's not pressed in where you need a machine to get it out. So, yeah, I'm thankful I'm able to do it this way. I saw another video where they tapped it out. That just seemed like way too much work. And, yeah, since I had the new one in there, I left it in there. And if I couldn't do this, I was going to pull it back out and order a new one, which didn't seem feasible at this point, the amount of work. So I'm glad this way is going to turn out. And, yeah, while I'm getting that done, I'm actually getting the coolant changed on this car. Takes a while to drain. So, all right, take care.